Hello everyone. So this is going to be a quick video on how to use a database to find supporting sources for your paper. I don't want you to be too worried about this, and I realize that not all of us have used a database of sorts before. So, a free resource to you as a student at Beaufort County Community College is nclive.org/browse, and I'm going to include this link in our APA Writing Documents folder. So what you can do here is I'm going to just search something very general. This page is going to pop up. Search for articles, books, videos, and more. So what I want you to do is, let's say we're watching I don't know, Mean Girls, and we really want to get into detail about different parenting styles and how they affect adolescents, right? So our text gives us a good amount of basic foundational knowledge, but what I want you to do is see how much you can stretch that knowledge. Where else could we go in analyzing its results, the effectiveness of those parenting styles? And so what I did was I just searched generally parenting styles, right? Just the general term. And you'll see on this left-hand column, there's different content type. And what I want you to do there is click Journal Article. This is going to give you a journal article. Aha! Wonderful. Try to keep it within the last 5 to 10 years, because that content's going to be a bit more relevant. You know, anything older, we may question that validity. Okay, so we see stuff for toddlers. We're seeing which parenting style encourages a healthy lifestyle in teenage children. That might be something relevant to what we're looking at. So what you have to do then when you're clicking on this from home, please select your library. So I'm just going to type in Beaufort County Community College. There it is. Next. And then it's going to ask for your username. So let me type in my credentials really quickly. If I could get those correct, that'd be great. Just your username and password. And press go. This is how you're going to access this when you're not at school, and since unfortunately we're home at the moment, right, you're going to have to type in your credentials. So from the abstract is where you're going to find the content of the article. It's going to give you a brief summary of what's going to be in this article. So this is looking at different parenting styles and how they're going to affect the influence and raising of teenagers. Let's see what else they're looking at here. Ecological niche. Also, if you can't understand what they're saying in the abstract, just close it out, okay? There's no point in trying to waste all this time trying to siphon through a long article that you may not understand. Try to keep it, make sure you can understand it, because you're going to have to paraphrase it back to me and how it relates to your movie. So this might be one thing. This is talking about advising families on how to improve their parenting styles. So that's a great article, but not exactly relative to what we're looking at. And so you'll see there's a bunch of stuff: parental depressive history, parenting styles, child psychopathology. Maybe I want to get more specific. Parenting styles, adolescent. So, irritability and parenting styles in adolescents with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Parenting style and adolescent externalizing behavior. So, that is going to do with a little bit of health issues. So, as you can see, we're getting a lot of random articles, and it can seem kind of overwhelming at first. But this is, boom, then you find the golden goose here. We have adolescents, conflict management styles with mothers. Okay, so this is really relevant to the movie Mean Girls, right? We talk about there is conflict with the mothers in both scenarios if we want to examine Regina George or Katie Heron. So I'm going to click this little link. It's going to forward me to the article since I've already signed in. And this article is going to talk about how they manage conflict as a result of the interactions with their parents. This would be a great article to use for that resource. Now, you don't necessarily have to read the whole article, but I would make sure that you read the introduction, the abstract, the introduction, as well as the description of the terms that they're using, because this is going to help you in understanding the context in which they built this study. You don't have to know the specific methodology, but the rationale or the reasoning is going to help you in understanding what direction they were going and what other directions could we go in analyzing parental styles. So if I scroll to the bottom, another useful little tidbit of information is the discussion section. The discussion section is going to have basically your results in general terms. And it's going to talk about what they found, how it relates to adolescence, and in this case, what else they could have done better for the study, what future directions could be done for the study. So this would be a great resource if you're looking up Mean Girls. The last thing I want to tell you is that sometimes, now this may take a little work that you don't feel like doing, but sometimes you can find resources in their reference section that might be useful to you. This is called bibliographic mining. Now, it's kind of more of an advanced method, but if you don't feel like going through all of these resources that pop up, you can also find one awesome article, copy and paste a link to one of these resources, and try to search it. There's a bunch of different ways you can find resources to corroborate or expand upon the material. I recommend using journals because they are going to be reliable, they're viewed by other professionals, and they're critiqued. They're scholarly reviewed articles. This is better than typing in, let me go to psychologist Google and type in parenting styles. Now this gives us basic information, but I don't know the credibility of Verywell Family. I don't know the credibility of parentingforbrain.com. Now the APA.org is a great resource, so that may be something you want to look at. But make sure you just kind of check your resources, that they're credible, because you don't want to have misinformation. I know this is a very quick rundown of how to use the search that is offered to you at the library in looking up journals and articles, but I hope this is a skill you will develop as you move through your college career, because it'll be very beneficial to you in future writing. Another little hint of advice, if you find an article that's great, these item citations are accurate. So if you want to save this in your reference section without typing up all the information, click Cite this item. And then you're going to choose your citation format, APA. And it's going to format a preview right here. You're just going to copy and paste this. So copy it and paste it into your reference section. And this way, if you lose it later, you can find it again. You can search it in that search bar. Or you can save it using this link. So now I have saved an article for future reading. I know this is a really quick preview. If you need any help with this, you can feel free to contact me or the librarian, and we will be able to walk you through the process. But again, try not to be too worried about what material you're pulling. I just want to see how you can expand these. We're getting very general, basic information in our course, right? And it's great information, but we want to see how we can expand that. Okay, so in looking at these movies, how can we expand parenting styles beyond this is what an authoritarian parent does, and this is the effects on the children. Well, how else could it affect adolescents, right? Because we're specifically looking at adolescents in these movies. So make sure you check this out. Try playing around with it before the due date, because it can take a while, and it's like a muscle. You have to practice it to get good with using these types of journals. So if you have any questions, please make sure you contact me, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week.